6mm arc is a dud, and here's why. It was introduced by Hornady in 2020, and one of the big attractive features is that it was able to offer better ballistic performance out of the small frame AR platforms. And that's really cool. There's a lot of people vying for something in that type of the market, because now you can use a small frame AR and have some ballistics that are going to help you compete at long ranges or do whatever else you're going to do, hunt with it at long ranges. But now we're 4 years into the mix with this cartridge, and it's just not living up to what we were originally hoping we would get out of this. Now that there's been some time to test this in the market, we even see some of the other popular videos on YouTube when you search for 6mm arc. They aren't too happy with this either. Here's your standard 223 or 5.56 case, and here's your 6 arc case. If you look at the base of them, the 6 arc is a much bigger base, and it's a shorter overall length of just the brass, so you can get a nice long meaty 6mm bullet in there and still be able to fit that into an AR style magazine. To achieve this, you have to make a sacrifice somewhere, and in the case of the 6 arc, that sacrifice is kind of starting to become its downfall. What happens is that when you have that bigger diameter case and you're still trying to fit it into the same size of bolt for the same size of frame of AR, you have to give up some of the meat of the bolt. So if you notice here, this is the 6 arc, and this is your standard 223 or 5.56 bolt head. This here is much thinner, and this is much thicker. To account for that bigger diameter case, you have to remove some of this material. So as you can imagine, removing some of that material and compromising possibly some of the strength of the lugs, putting things under high pressure, you're going to start to see some problems pop up there. And that's exactly what's happening. These bolts aren't really able to handle normal pressures with that reduced material outside of that bolt ring. To the extent that even in Hornady's load book, they have two different loads. First is 6mm arc gas gun, and the second is 6mm arc bolt gun. What's the difference in these two loads? The following load data is within SAMI specifications and is safe for use in the AR-15 platform, or what we'll call gas guns, due to their cyclic operation and bolt. These loads do not exceed 52,000 psi, which is important for the longevity of the bolt itself. Do not exceed these loads in your gas gun. What about the bolt? Under the bolt guns, it says the following data was developed for bolt action rifles that are rated to use 62,000 psi loads. This data, higher pressure than SAMI specification, is not to be used in AR-15 gas guns. So even the developers of this cartridge now have two different loads for the same cartridge. And I'm sure that if you load to 62,000 psi, you're going to be able to get some better results out of a bolt gun. But that driving point there is that it defeats the whole purpose of the 6mm arc to begin with. Because when you go to a bolt gun, now you have a lot of other options in cartridges that can actually get you to where you're trying to be ballistically. It's taking you away from that AR platform. So what's the solution? You can do one of two things. As many competitors are starting to do, they carry around 3 spare bolts with them to change them out when they shoot a match. Or you can try to load your loads to 52,000 psi and keep it under a safe load and then hope that you get by with it. And that's why 6mm arc does not perform. I wish I had a good keyboard warrior persona like the Fat Electrician does here. Yes, all right, keyboard warriors. Well, you just don't know the reloads, or you don't know how to shoot, or whatever. Like, guys, I get it. I've been there. Yeah, there's probably some things that we can do, but I myself have tried different powders, different bullets, different, you name it, and it doesn't really seem to match up. What about the loads that Hornady's putting out? I don't know what pressures that they're loading to. If it's conducive for a bolt gun and a gas gun, I'd really be curious, are they loading to the 62,000 psi or are they loading to 52,000 psi? Because that can dramatically affect their ammunition that they're putting out. And be honest, these loads aren't like other loads. They don't perform the same way. They're not consistent the same way. We get lucky with them one time, we're happy, and we go out another time to shoot with it, and it doesn't work. So until there's a powder that will work a lot better with this for that bullet combination and still meet those pressure requirements, 6 arc is out.